Good morning, everybody. Rob here in Bakersfield, California on the 2013 Sportster 72, heading off to work. And welcome to another Throwback Thursday. I have tried very hard to put January 29th out of my mind this month, but it has been very difficult to do. And January 29th happens to be this Friday. Some of you may know the significance of January 29th, some of you may not. Those who don't may want to go and watch my video from last year. Explains all about January 29th. Anyways, part of the reason it's been so much harder to put out of my mind this year is because I got a letter from the California Parole Board. They're granting an early parole hearing to the shooter that killed the principal, killed the head custodian, basically killed me, and injured 8 elementary school aged children. Now, I can only figure that there's one reason why the liberal California Parole Board is granting her an early hearing, and that is because they plan to release her. Because the Parole Board has been granting parole to cop killers, kidnappers, murderers of all types from back in that time period. They basically figure that they are too old to re-offend, and because they've behaved themselves in prison and been a so-called model prisoner, then it's okay to release them. Now, I, of course, wrote a letter to the parole board explaining my reasons why I don't feel she should be released. And that's basically because she's a fucking wacko. She's, in the past, been taking responsibility for all school shootings since then, saying that they're all copycats of her, and that she's responsible for all the mass shootings at schools. And the thing is, the national news media doesn't even remember her. It's only San Diego that does, and the victims and their families. So she's pissed that she doesn't get the national notoriety that she wants. So I think that if she is released, she will re-offend, doing something to try and recapture the national spotlight. Because that's what she craves, is fame. So, hopefully they won't release her, but if they do, hopefully Governor Brown will veto it. Because he just vetoed the parole of the murderer who murdered a San Diego police officer at that same time period, Officer Archie Buggs. His funeral was it was the first police funeral I went to and the last one I went to, because I could not stand going to the funerals emotionally. It just pissed me off too much to see a person's life wasted that was basically dedicating their life to trying to serve and protect the public. So anyways, it's been a very difficult month for me. And this week is especially difficult. I've been very depressed, having trouble sleeping, having trouble keeping it out of my mind. The last 2 weeks I did some more cheerful throwback Thursdays on my teenage years. And I was going to do another one of those this week, but God, I just cannot get this out of my head. I have to get it off my chest. She should have got the death penalty back then, but because of her young age, they felt sorry for her and they gave her life in prison with the possibility of parole because of her young age, which to me is a bunch of bullshit. You know, by the time you're 14, 15 years old, if you have the mental capacity to want to go out and just kill somebody to see what it feels like, to get that thrill, then you have the, you know, the mental capacity to be locked up for life. We don't need people like that out on the street. But the prisons are overcrowded. The Supreme Court's ordered that we cut down on the number of prisoners in our prisons. Voters won't vote in any bond measures to build new prisons. So all they can do is release them. So they're releasing the oldest ones first. And now they're even talking about saving money by shutting prisons down. So they've already downgraded felonies to misdemeanors to keep prisoners out of prison. They're releasing all the old criminals to cut down on the population. And now they're talking about closing prisons down. So the citizens of California better start paying attention to their surroundings and the people around them, because you're going to be inundated with middle-aged criminals that have no way to support themselves other than to rob you. And there's an awful lot of rapists in there, an awful lot of murderers in there. They have no respect for life. And you can have all these young guys that are now going in on just misdemeanors because they've been downgraded from felonies. They're going to spend probably maybe 3 to 6 months and get right back out again. It's just a joke to them. I've been seriously thinking about maybe moving to Arizona. But my wife don't want to move because of the grandkids being in California. So I guess that move ain't going to happen. He's in a hurry. Well, I guess what I want ain't gonna happen, because I'd like to see more prisons built, hire more people to be guards, cut down on the unemployment, get rid of all the criminals on the streets. But in liberal California, that ain't gonna happen. All the conservatives are moving out, heading for other states, and I can't blame them. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully next month's going to be a better month. At any rate, I got nice winter weather to ride back and forth to work. So I'm going to shut up and enjoy the rest of my ride to work. I'll see you guys all next week. Bye-bye.